Chosen one. I know I have to be strong, but I don't know how to become strong every single day when no one is cheering me on. I know I have to be strong, but I don't know how to stay disciplined when the pressure is heavy and the path feels lonely. Have you been thinking this way? Chosen one, you are not watching this by accident. This moment has been scheduled by heaven with precision. What you call curiosity is actually divine timing. What you call restlessness is your spirit responding to a summons. Right now you are standing at the edge of a supernatural shift, a moment of elevation, alignment, and divine wealth transfer that has been forming in the unseen. Anointed one, there is a mindset reserved for those who are chosen to carry more. Not just more money, but more responsibility, more vision, more impact. Scripture tells us in Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3 that the vision waits for an appointed time, and it will surely come. This is that appointed time. Heaven has been preparing you for a way of thinking that can sustain what is about to be released. If you feel this stirring, stay with me until the end of this message. This is not motivation, this is activation. And before we go deeper, subscribe to this channel so you stay aligned with what heaven is releasing, and comment 777 if you're ready to claim the billionaire mindset you were always meant to carry. Chosen one. What you are about to hear is not information, it is alignment. In the next moments, heaven is not asking you to be entertained, it is inviting you to be repositioned. There is a way of thinking reserved for those who are trusted with more, and this is the hour where that mindset is being awakened inside you. Not because you chased it, not because you forced it, but because you survived what others could not carry. The world calls it a billionaire mindset. Heaven calls it stewardship, responsibility, and capacity. Anointed one, let me speak plainly. Life has never been gentle with you, and that was never an accident. You have wondered why things seemed heavier for you than for others, why pressure followed you early, why comfort always felt temporary in your hands. This is the first truth heaven wants you to accept. Life is hard, and believing it should have been easy only delayed your strength. I learned this the hard way. There were seasons when I kept asking God why things weren't smoothing out, yet why the resistance didn't lift. And what I didn't understand then was that the resistance was the training. Steel is not forged in calm rooms. Capacity is not built in ease. The sooner you stop expecting life to bend for you, the faster you rise to meet it. Chosen one struggle is not a sign you are off track. It is proof you are being trusted with growth. When you stop saying "why me" and start saying "try me," something shifts inside you. The same weight that once felt crushing becomes familiar. The hill doesn't disappear, you simply grow strong enough to carry your assignment up it. The strongest people you admire didn't avoid difficulty, they were shaped by it, and so were you. Now hear this carefully. Heaven does not build elevation on emotions. Feelings were never meant to lead your life. They were meant to be servants, not rulers. There were mornings I didn't feel ready, nights I didn't feel inspired, weeks where fear sat heavy on my chest. If I had waited to feel strong, I would still be waiting. Action is what moves heaven into agreement with your obedience. You act and momentum follows. You move and clarity catches up. Discipline is not about feeling motivated, it is about honoring what needs to be done, even when no one is watching. Chosen one. Your feelings will beg you to delay. They will whisper, "Not today, rest a little longer, wait until it feels right." But feelings do not pay the bills of destiny. Action does. The people who rise early, who build quietly, who keep going when enthusiasm fades, they are not superhuman. They simply decided that obedience mattered more than comfort. And this is where your breakthrough begins. not in a surge of emotion, but in a quiet decision to move anyway. Anointed One. Your mind is a high-performance vessel, but it only produces what it is fed. Garbage in will always produce garbage out. I had to learn to protect my mental diet, like my future depended on it, because it did. What you listen to, what you scroll through, who you allow close to your spirit, all of it is programming you. If you feed your mind constant noise, negativity, and small thinking, do not be surprised when your outcomes reflect that diet. But when you choose knowledge, challenge, and truth, your output begins to change. Look around you honestly. If you surround yourself with complainers, you will slowly adopt their ceiling. If you stay near people who quitting will begin to feel reasonable. But if you allow yourself to be sharpened by driven, disciplined, faith-filled people, their mindset will rub off on you. This is why God sometimes separates you. It is not rejection, it is protection. A strong mind is not built by default, it is built by design. Chosen one, you can pay now or you can pay later. Either way, life sends the bill. Pain now or regret later. That is the exchange. I remember choosing to sacrifice when no one clapped, to invest time when others chased pleasure, to say no to small comforts for a future I couldn't yet see. It stung in the moment, but it paid dividends later. Short-term sacrifice is the language of long-term freedom. Every time you delay gratification, you are trading pennies for dollars. Champions understand this instinctively. There is a reason you feel restless when you settle. There is a reason easy pleasures lose their shine quickly for you. It is because you were not created to live small. Pain now, pleasure later. This is not punishment. It is preparation. And hear this, Anointed One. Heaven does not reward half-hearted obedience. Empty the tank daily. Give today everything you have, then give a little more. There were days I went to sleep exhausted but fulfilled, knowing I didn't hold back. That exhaustion was holy. It meant I honored the day. If you end your day with energy to spare, something was left undone. Later is an illusion. Right now is all you have. Successful people do not coast. They cross the finish line on fumes. Yes, it is hard. Yes, it will stretch you. But the growth you experience will be invisible to lazy eyes. And here is the mystery: emptying the tank today refuels you for tomorrow. Each day builds upon the last until momentum becomes your environment. Chosen One. This is where we pause, not because the work is finished, but because the weight of this truth must settle into your spirit. If you feel the stirring, do not rush past it. Let it recalibrate you. And if this word is resonating, stay connected. Chosen One. There is a reason confidence has always felt different for you. You were never meant to borrow it from applause or pretend it into existence. Heaven does not anoint imitation. What you are being prepared for requires substance. That is why confidence in your life has been slow-earned and sometimes painfully built. Competence is the quiet foundation God uses to hold up public authority. When you know you have put in the work, when your hands remember the repetitions, when your mind has wrestled with complexity and won something inside you settles, you stop performing strength and start embodying it. Anointed One. I remember seasons when I felt exposed, when I knew my calling was larger than my current skill set. That gap can be uncomfortable. It can feel like insecurity, but it is actually invitation. Instead of faking it until you make it, you were called to make it so deeply that you never need to fake it again. This is why heaven keeps you hidden longer than others. Mastery takes time, and the weight you are destined to carry would crush shallow preparation. When you develop real skill, real understanding, real excellence, confidence stops being loud. It becomes quiet, unshakable, and immovable. No motivational quote can replace that. No validation can compete with it. Your results begin to speak for you, even in rooms where you say nothing. This is the kind of authority that opens doors without you knocking, not because you demanded entry, but because you belonged there. Chosen one. Comfort has always felt like a trap to you, hasn't it? You try to rest, but your spirit grows restless. You settle, and something inside you tightens. That is because nothing grows in comfort zones. Heaven never intended you to remain where you feel safe. Growth demands courage, and courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means obedience in the presence of fear. There were moments when my hands shook before difficult conversations, before bold decisions, before stepping into unfamiliar territory. The fear didn't disappear. I moved anyway. Every time you choose comfort over courage, something in you contracts. But every time you walk straight into what scares you, something expands. Your capacity grows. Your tolerance for pressure increases. Over time, fear loses its authority. It no longer dictates your choices. Courage becomes your default setting, and your life begins to expand in direct proportion to the risks you are willing to take. Ask yourself honestly, chosen one, when was the last time you did something that truly scared you? If it has been a while, that discomfort you feel right now is not condemnation. It is instruction. You were not designed to live cozy. You were designed to advance. And let me speak to the anger you've carried, the frustration, the fire that flares when you are misunderstood, underestimated, or dismissed. Anger can destroy you, or it can drive you. Too many people let it rot them from the inside, but you were called to refine it, to weaponize it. I learned this lesson when I realized that my anger was not random. It was energy looking for direction. Every time someone doubted you, every time you were overlooked, every time your loyalty was repaid with disrespect, that fire in your chest was not meant to turn into bitterness. It was meant to be converted into focus, into discipline, into relentless forward motion. Do not punch walls. Attack your goals. Let the doubters become fuel. The best revenge has never been noise. It has always been results. Some of the greatest transformations in history were born from redirected anger. Heat controlled becomes power. Fire refined becomes light. Make your anger serve you, not ruin you. Chosen one, eventually heaven brings you to a mirror you cannot avoid. Accountability is sacred. There is one person you cannot fool, and that person looks back at you every morning. Brutal honesty is not self-hatred. It is self-respect. You cannot improve what you refuse to admit. I had to learn to stop sugarcoating my reality, to own my weaknesses without excuses, to confront the truth without collapsing under it. If you are out of shape, admit it. If you are distracted, own it. If you have been playing small, call it out. This is not about shame. It is about alignment. Each night ask yourself whether you honored your word. If the answer is no, do not drown in guilt. Use that truth as fuel for tomorrow. Write it down if you have to. Keep the truth in front of you. Accountability is harsh, but it is holy. You can fool the world with explanations. You can justify stagnation with stories, but you cannot lie your way into destiny. Hold yourself accountable, then do the work to fix what you see. Anointed one, your body matters more than you were taught. Physical strength and mental strength are deeply connected. You cannot separate them. When you push your body beyond comfort, your mind learns it can do the same. I noticed a shift when I began treating my body as a vessel for purpose instead of an accessory. Early mornings, extra repetitions, cold showers. These were not about discipline alone. They were about teaching my willpower to obey. A weak body often accompanies a weak mindset. Not because strength is everything, but because neglect sends a message. Taking care of your body is taking care of your assignment. When you build physical resilience, mental clarity follows. You think sharper, you stand taller, stress loses its grip. This is a cycle. Strong body, strong mind. Exercise is not vanity, it is preparation. It builds an engine inside you that can endure pressure. When you are physically aligned, your confidence bleeds into every area of life. Treat your body like the vessel carrying your calling. Train it, fuel it, respect it. Chosen one. Listen to the questions you ask yourself. Your mind answers whatever you type into it. Ask disempowering questions, and it will gladly reinforce limitation. I used to ask why things kept going wrong. All I received were reasons to stay stuck. Everything shifted when I changed the questions. What can I learn from this? How can this work for me? Where is the opportunity? The quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. High achievers are not immune to setbacks. They simply interrogate them differently. Every obstacle becomes information. Every delay becomes instruction. This shifts you from powerless to empowered. Begin listening to your internal dialogue. Challenge it. Upgrade it. Ask questions that feed growth, not fear. Chosen one willpower is limited. Environment is not. Eventually, your surroundings will overpower your intentions. That is why heaven pushes you to change what surrounds you. Remove temptation instead of battling it daily. Design your life so the right choices become the default. Clean your space. Curate your circle. Build routines that pull you forward even on weak days. You are a product of your environment as much as your effort. High performers do not rely on motivation alone. They build systems that support success. When your environment aligns with your calling, momentum carries you. You stop forcing progress and begin flowing with it. There is more being stirred inside you. Chosen one, let this truth settle. Do not rush past it. If you feel the weight, it is because heaven is expanding your capacity. Stay present, stay aligned, chosen one. There comes a moment when heaven stops explaining and starts requiring. This is that moment. Up to now, grace has carried you through confusion, through seasons where you were learning, unlearning, and surviving. But there is a different grace that appears when preparation is complete. It is the grace of responsibility. And when it arrives, life feels heavier, quieter, and more serious. That is not because you are losing joy. It is because you are being entrusted. You have always sensed it, that subtle pressure to become more than you currently are. Not more famous, not more admired, but more grounded, more disciplined, more capable. That pressure is not anxiety. It is alignment calling you forward. Heaven does not rush this process, but it also does not delay it once the time has come. Scripture reminds us that to whom much is given, much is required. You are feeling the requirement now. Chosen one, doing hard things has never been about punishment. It has always been about conditioning. Ease keeps you exactly where you are. Difficulty forces you to grow. I learned this when I realized that the things I avoided were the very things shaping my future. The hard conversations, the uncomfortable discipline, the lonely decisions. Each one stretched me. Each one strengthened me. Each one deposited something permanent inside my spirit. If it does not challenge you, it will not change you. That truth is uncomfortable because it removes excuses. The easy route feels safe, but it preserves your limits. The hard route feels dangerous, but it expands your capacity. When you deliberately choose to do what most people avoid, you train your mind to endure stress without breaking. Over time, adversity loses its power to intimidate you. You have been here before, you survived, you grew, and now you know you can. Hard things create a memory bank inside you. Each challenge conquered becomes evidence, evidence that you can endure, evidence that you can adapt, evidence that you can overcome. While others panic when pressure arrives, you draw confidence from past victories. This is why God allows you to face trials early. He is building a reserve you will need later. Chosen one. There is also a call to clarity in this season. A cluttered mind cannot carry a large assignment. Noise dulls discernment. Distraction fractures focus. You cannot expect peak performance when your thoughts are scattered across worries, regrets, and endless stimulation. I had to learn to protect silence as fiercely as I protected action. Stillness became a discipline, not because I wanted to escape the world, but because I needed to hear clearly again. Clarity is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Warriors sharpen their swords, leaders clear their minds. When you create space for silence through prayer, reflection, journaling, or simply stepping away, something powerful happens. The mental mud settles, the water clears, solutions surface without force, direction becomes obvious. In the quiet, you reconnect with your center, with your why, with God's voice beneath the noise. High performers understand this instinctively. They do not glorify constant stimulation. They honor moments of stillness because they know clarity precedes decisive action. Give yourself permission to unplug, cut the noise, step away from the endless demands for a few minutes each day. In that space you will find creativity returning, strength restoring, focus sharpening. Anointed one. Rest is not weakness. Sleep is not laziness. Hustle culture may glorify exhaustion, but heaven honors sustainability. A strong mind needs rest, just as a strong body does. I learned this after pushing myself beyond wisdom, thinking constant grind was proof of commitment. All it produced was dull judgment and fragile resilience. Sleep resets you. It repairs you. It clears mental waste and restores willpower. When you neglect rest, everything suffers. Focus fades. Patience thins. Emotional stability weakens. You begin fighting battles with a dull sword. Elite performers understand this. They guard their rest because they know it gives them an edge. When you are well rested, you make better decisions. You learn faster. You remain calm under pressure. Treat sleep as non-negotiable. Build routines that protect it. Cut late-night distractions. Honor recovery as part of obedience. Chosen one. This is where everything comes together. Building a strong mind does not happen through a single breakthrough moment. It is forged through daily decisions, through choosing discipline over impulse, clarity over chaos, courage over comfort, accountability over excuses, strength over shortcuts. These choices compound, quietly shaping you into someone who can carry weight without collapsing. There will be moments when no one sees your effort, when progress feels slow, when obedience feels unrewarded. Do not be deceived. Heaven keeps perfect records. Every disciplined choice deposits something eternal. You are becoming someone different, even when the outside has not caught up yet. And now hear this final truth for this moment. It is on you. Heaven has done its part. The calling has been revealed. The preparation has been given. The alignment is happening. What remains is your response. No more waiting for perfect conditions. No more negotiating with fear. No more postponing obedience. You were not chosen to admire greatness. You were chosen to embody it. Stand up inside yourself. Take responsibility for your mind, your habits, your direction. Begin today, not tomorrow, not someday. Today. Chosen one. Breathe. Let this settle. Let it anchor. You are not behind. You are being positioned. Chosen one. There is a quiet moment that arrives after preparation, after discipline, after endurance, a moment where heaven watches to see if you will shrink back or step forward. This is not a loud moment. There is no announcement, no applause. It feels ordinary on the outside, but internally everything is shifting. This is the moment where identity solidifies. Not who you say you are, but who you consistently show up as when no one is correcting you anymore. You are no longer in the season of being chased by chaos. You are in the season of being trusted with order. And order requires something deeper than motivation. It requires self-governance. This is where many fall away, not because they are weak, but because they are undisciplined. Heaven can forgive mistakes. What it cannot partner with is disorder. Chosen one. The billionaire mindset you are claiming is not about money first. It is about stewardship. Money only amplifies what already exists inside a person. If your inner world is fragmented, wealth will not heal it. If your habits are unstable, abundance will expose it. That is why God always works inward before He works outward. He aligns your thinking before He expands your reach. There was a time when I thought success would fix my inconsistencies. I believed once things improved externally, discipline would come naturally. I was wrong. Discipline does not arrive after success. Success arrives after discipline. Structure is not the enemy of freedom, it is the foundation of it. When your days have rhythm, your mind gains peace. When your habits are intentional, your spirit gains clarity. Chosen. One, chaos is expensive. It drains energy, focus, and emotional capacity. Many people stay tired not because they work too hard, but because they live without order. They wake up reacting instead of directing. They chase instead of building. But you were not designed to live reactively. You were designed to rule your inner world first. This is why routines matter, not as rigid rules, but as anchors. Simple things done consistently carry enormous power. Waking up with intention, guarding the first moments of your day, choosing silence before noise, movement before distraction, truth before comfort. These are not small decisions. They are spiritual alignments. Over time, they rewire how you think, how you respond, and how you lead. Chosen one consistency is where destiny hides, not in dramatic leaps, but in quiet repetitions. I learned that breakthroughs are often anticlimactic. They come disguised as ordinary obedience. You do not feel different immediately. You simply keep showing up. And then one day you realize you have become someone else. Now hear this clearly. You will not always feel inspired to protect your focus. You will not always feel excited to maintain your standards. That is why standards must be decided in advance. You do not negotiate values in moments of weakness. You establish them in moments of clarity. Decide now what you will tolerate and what you will not. Decide what kind of thoughts you allow to linger. Decide which behaviors you correct immediately instead of excusing. Chosen one. This is where maturity is revealed, not in how passionately you speak about vision, but in how quickly you correct misalignment. Delay breeds decay. Small compromises grow quietly until they sabotage momentum. Do not ignore what feels slightly off. Discernment sharpens when you honor it quickly. And let us talk about patience, not passive waiting but active endurance. You are not late. You are ripening. There is a difference. Fruit picked too early lacks substance. Timing matters. Heaven is precise. What feels like delay is often refinement. I had seasons where nothing seemed to move despite obedience. Looking back, I see that those seasons were stabilizing me, removing arrogance, deepening humility, teaching me to hold weight without rushing. Chosen one. Impatience often disguises itself as ambition, but true ambition is patient. It understands process. It respects timing. It does not try to harvest what has not matured. Trust that what is meant for you is being prepared in parallel with who you are becoming. Now there will be people who do not recognize your growth. Some will still see you as who you were. Do not fight them. Do not convince them. Growth does not require consensus. When God elevates you, explanations become unnecessary. Authority is recognized by alignment, not persuasion. Chosen one. This is also the season to guard your mouth. Speak less, observe more. Not everything you know needs to be shared. Wisdom is not loud. Power is not noisy. There is a sacredness to restraint. Silence preserves energy. It keeps you focused. It prevents premature exposure. There were times I spoke too soon, and it cost me clarity. Now I understand that some revelations are meant to mature in private before they manifest in public. Let your life speak. Let your discipline speak. Let your results speak. Words are easy. Alignment is rare. Chosen one, understand this. The higher you rise, the more internal stability is required. Pressure increases. Expectations sharpen. Distractions multiply. Without inner order, elevation becomes overwhelming. But when your foundation is solid, pressure refines instead of crushing you. You are not being rushed. You are being rooted. Roots grow in darkness unseen. No one applauds roots. But when storms come, they determine who stands. What you are building now will hold you later. And here is the truth many avoid. There will be days when obedience feels boring, when discipline feels repetitive, when nothing feels dramatic. Do not despise those days. Those days are where strength is stored. Consistency creates credibility. Credibility creates trust. Trust creates access. Chosen one, you are closer than you think. Not because circumstances are changing rapidly, but because you are. Your reactions are different. Your tolerance for nonsense is lower. Your focus is sharper. Your standards are higher. These are signs of alignment. Stay steady, stay ordered, stay humble, stay disciplined. This is not about becoming someone new overnight. It is about fully becoming who you were already called to be. Pause here. Let this truth settle into your bones. You are not chasing elevation anymore. You are preparing to sustain it. Chosen one. There is a moment when preparation shifts into positioning. It is subtle, almost imperceptible at first. Nothing dramatic happens on the outside, but internally your posture changes. You stop asking for permission. You stop waiting to be discovered. You stop needing constant reassurance. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. Heaven has been shaping you quietly, and now your spirit recognizes that you are standing on solid ground. You are no longer trying to become strong. You are becoming reliable, and reliability is far more valuable than intensity. Many people burn bright for a season and fade just as quickly. But those entrusted with lasting influence are the ones who can be counted on to show up, counted on to stay steady under pressure, counted on to lead themselves when no one else is watching. This is the mindset that sustains wealth, authority, and impact. Chosen one. The world glamorizes sudden breakthroughs, but heaven values consistency. Consistency is proof that transformation has taken root. I learned this when the excitement wore off and only discipline remained. There were days when the work felt ordinary, repetitive, even dull. But something powerful was happening beneath the surface. My reactions were changing. My patience was deepening. My capacity was expanding. Consistency was doing what emotion never could. There is a sacred discipline in doing the right thing when no immediate reward appears. This is where many turn back. They assume nothing is happening because nothing is visible. But growth often happens underground. Roots deepen before branches expand. What you are building now will determine how high you can rise without breaking. Chosen one. Your thoughts must now be guarded with greater intention. Not every thought deserves attention. Not every idea deserves agreement. You are learning to observe your mind instead of being ruled by it. When fear appears, you do not panic. You examine it. When doubt whispers, you do not submit. You challenge it. This is maturity. This is mental dominion. I remember a season when negative thoughts felt overwhelming, like constant noise. I assumed strength meant eliminating them. But true strength came when I learned to let them pass without engagement. You are not required to fight every thought. You are required to choose which ones you feed. Attention is currency. Spend it wisely. Chosen one boundaries become sacred at this level, not because you are cold, but because you are focused. You cannot pour into everything and everyone without leaking power. Discernment sharpens your yes and strengthens your no. You begin to feel when something drains you versus when it aligns you. Honor that awareness. It is a gift. This is also the season where comparison loses its grip. You stop measuring your progress against others because your assignment is different. Your pace is intentional. Your path is specific. Comparison fades when clarity increases. You know where you are going even if the destination is not fully visible yet. Chosen one. Wealth, true wealth, is not just financial. It is mental peace, emotional stability, spiritual clarity. Financial increase without internal order becomes a burden. But when your inner world is aligned, external resources become tools instead of temptations. This is why heaven waited. You needed to become someone who could hold abundance without being consumed by it. You are learning to separate identity from outcome. Success no longer defines you. Failure no longer destroys you. Your worth is anchored deeper now. This stability allows you to take risks without desperation and losses without collapse. You move with calm confidence, not frantic urgency. Chosen one leadership begins internally. Before you are entrusted with influence over others, you must demonstrate mastery over yourself. How you manage your time, how you steward your energy, how you regulate your emotions. These are not small matters. They are training grounds for larger responsibility. There were moments when I wanted external validation to confirm I was on the right path. But heaven often withholds applause to strengthen internal conviction. When you no longer need recognition to stay obedient, you become dangerous in the best way. Unshakable, grounded, free, chosen. One, your patience is being tested because patience is being expanded. You are learning to endure without complaining, to build without broadcasting, to trust without seeing immediate evidence. This is not delay. This is refinement. Let me tell you something honestly. The most powerful seasons of growth are often the quietest. No one checks on you. No one praises your effort. No one fully understands the weight you are carrying. But heaven sees, and heaven remembers. This is where gratitude becomes a discipline. Not because everything is perfect, but because you recognize how far you have come. Gratitude stabilizes the heart. It prevents entitlement. It keeps your spirit soft, while your resolve remains firm. Give thanks even now, especially now. Chosen one. There will be opportunities soon that test your integrity. Shortcuts disguised as blessings, offers that look good but feel off. This is where discernment protects you. Not everything that advances you is sent to bless you. Some things are sent to distract you. Trust your spirit. If something costs you your peace, it is too expensive. You are learning to move slower, not because you lack ambition, but because you respect alignment. Rushed decisions often require repair. Aligned decisions create momentum. You do not need to force doors open. Doors meant for you will respond to your presence. Chosen one. This is the mindset that attracts lasting prosperity. Not chasing, not striving, but steady, grounded expansion. You are becoming someone who does not panic under pressure, does not inflate under praise, and does not collapse under delay. Stay here for a moment. Feel the stability forming inside you. This is not temporary motivation. This is structural change. You are not waiting for your life to begin. You are living it with intention now. Chosen one. There comes a point where the internal work becomes visible, not because you announce it, but because the way you move through the world has changed. You carry yourself differently now. Your presence is calmer. Your decisions are cleaner. Your reactions are measured. This is not something you practiced in front of a mirror. It is the result of alignment settling into your bones. You are no longer driven by urgency. Urgency belongs to fear. You are driven by intention. Intention belongs to those who know where they are going, even if the road is still unfolding. This shift is subtle, but it is powerful. People begin to sense it before you speak. They feel stability in your presence. That stability is rare, and it attracts opportunity. Chosen one. This is where influence begins to form naturally, not through self-promotion, but through trust. Others notice that you do not overreact, that you do not chase, that you do not crumble under pressure. You listen more than you speak. You respond instead of reacting. This composure was forged, not gifted. It came from every moment you chose discipline over impulse, clarity over chaos, obedience over comfort. I remember realizing one day that situations which once overwhelmed me no longer had the same power. The pressure was still there, but I was different. That is how growth reveals itself. Not by removing challenges, but by changing how you meet them. This is when you understand that strength is not loud, it is steady. Chosen. One authority flows from alignment. When your thoughts, values, and actions are in agreement, you become trustworthy. Heaven entrusts those who can govern themselves. This is why your internal world has been refined so deeply. You were being prepared to carry responsibility without corruption, to hold influence without ego, to steward increase without losing yourself. Now your discernment sharpens. You sense when something is misaligned before it becomes destructive. You feel when a conversation is draining instead of fruitful. You recognize when an opportunity carries hidden costs. Honor this awareness. It is the result of your growth. Discernment is not suspicion. It is wisdom born from experience. Chosen one. This is also where your relationship with time changes. You stop rushing. You stop wasting it. You stop giving it away carelessly. Time becomes sacred. You understand that how you spend your hours is how you shape your future. Small choices compound. 10 focused minutes daily will outperform sporadic bursts of effort fueled by emotion. You begin to value depth over speed, quality over quantity, alignment over applause. This recalibration is essential for sustaining wealth and influence. Many rise quickly and fall just as fast because they never learned to move with intention. You are learning now. Chosen one. Peace becomes your internal compass. Not comfort, but peace. Comfort avoids challenge. Peace remains steady within it. When a decision costs you peace, you pause. When a path preserves peace, you consider it. This does not mean the absence of fear or effort. It means your spirit is not in conflict. I learned this after chasing outcomes that looked good but felt wrong. The success came, but it was hollow. Peace taught me more than failure ever did. It taught me to trust alignment over appearance. Listen to that quiet knowing inside you. It has been trained through obedience. Chosen one, you are no longer building for survival. You are building for legacy. Survival asks, how do I get through this? Legacy asks, what does this create long term? This shift changes everything. You think further ahead. You plan more intentionally. You become selective with commitments. You understand that not everything urgent is important. Legacy requires patience. It requires vision. It requires restraint. And it requires the courage to say no to things that others chase desperately. This is where many misunderstand you. They may think you are slow, cautious, or uninterested. Let them. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to be aligned. Chosen one. This is also where humility deepens, not the humility that shrinks, but the humility that stabilizes. You know what you can do, but you also know what you still need to learn. You remain teachable. You remain open. Pride closes doors. Humility keeps them open. There will be moments when you are tempted to prove yourself, to explain your choices, to justify your pace. Resist that urge. You do not owe clarity to those who have not earned context. Let time reveal your fruit. Chosen one. Your faith matures here. It becomes less emotional and more rooted. You trust God not only when things are exciting, but when they are quiet. You believe not because you feel inspired, but because you have seen His consistency. Faith shifts from hope alone to confidence grounded in experience. You have seen provision arrive when logic said it shouldn't. You have watched doors open at the right time, not the fastest time. These memories anchor you. They remind you that alignment produces outcomes effort alone cannot. Chosen one. Now you understand why the process mattered, why shortcuts were blocked, why certain doors remained closed. It was never punishment. It was protection. You were being shaped into someone who could carry weight without breaking. This is the mindset that sustains wealth. Calm under pressure, discernment under opportunity, discipline under freedom, gratitude under increase. When money comes, it will not define you. When influence grows, it will not intoxicate you. You will remain centered. Stay grounded here. Do not rush past this stability. Let it become your default state. This is not the peak. It is the foundation. Chosen one, breathe. You are aligned. You are steady. You are ready to carry what is coming without losing who you are. Chosen one, as this moment closes, let your spirit be still and receive what has already been released. This was never just a message, it was an alignment. In the end, building a strong mind comes down to a simple truth: heaven prepares before it promotes. And right now, you are standing in your Kairos moment, your divinely appointed time where preparation meets release. Anointed one. The shift has already begun. What you have carried in faith, discipline, and obedience is now being acknowledged in the unseen. A supernatural transfer is in motion, not rushed, not forced, but perfectly timed. The mindset you have been forged into is capable of sustaining what is coming. You are not stepping into confusion. You are stepping into clarity, authority, and heaven-backed increase. Remain faithful. Stay aligned. Do not look back at what tried to break you. Look forward with gratitude for what is about to manifest. Walk calmly. Speak less. Trust more. Heaven has gone ahead of you. I speak peace over your mind, strength over your body, and favor over every step you take. May doors open with ease, may wisdom guard your decisions, and may abundance flow without corruption. If this word bears witness with your spirit, stay connected. Subscribe so you remain aligned with what heaven is releasing here, and quietly comment your city as a seal of agreement. Go forward, chosen one. You are commissioned.